how important even just a couple of days working with Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be for Canelo, just to see a bit of the tempo, a bit of that switching of stance, because let's be honest, there's not many guys that Canelo has fought that have fought out of both stances and done it as fluidly as Boots Ennis or as Bud Crawford will do in their fight.
Bien, bien hecho, bonita pinta otra vez ahí, no te la cambias.
Crawford fight, not Crawford. I don't think Boots fight like Crawford at all. That was just, I think the comparison they was making initially was just as they both were switch hitters and they both could be so naturally. That's really the only thing that they do the same.
The boxing world was left stunned after reports surfaced that Canelo Alvarez has been sparring with Jaron Boots Ennis in preparation for his showdown with Terence Crawford.
Bien, bien hecho, bonita bien, otra vez ahí, no te la cambias. Sí, y remate. Un pasito atrás y vuelta. Listo.
Many view this as a powerful statement of intent from Canelo Alvarez's camp. Former world champion Andre Dirrell noted that the move proves Canelo is preparing to be at his absolute best for September, leaving no room for complacency. Jaron Boots Ennis is renowned for his speed, explosiveness, and versatility, making him one of the closest possible replicas of Terence Crawford's style. By bringing Boots into camp, Canelo isn't just sharpening his tools, he's showing respect for Crawford's abilities while sending a clear message. He is taking this challenge as seriously as any in his career.
I do believe this is kickback on Crawford for not taking the fight with Boots back in 2024 when Boots called him out. Crawford was on the bigger and better things, baby. The bigger and better things being Canelo Alvarez, September 13th, 2025. Bigger legacy, bigger name, bigger payday, bigger stars. So, too little, too late, Boots. But I am looking forward to how you advance in your career after this, because this camp is definitely going to level you up, man. You're going to get better because of it in every aspect. Toughness, skill set, smarts. You're going to get a lot from this camp, champ. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do, because you're already a bad man, dog. I want to see where you take it from here. But Crawford, it's over. I believe he's walking away in the sunset, especially if he walking away with the victory, which I'm hoping for. True champ, you got to settle for something else. You Canelo that work, man. He's going to need it. He's going to need it. According to Roy Jones, Canelo got to be on this A game. You got to be on yours too, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do after this. It's raining on me right now, so I'm going to cut this short, baby. But Boots, get somebody else, champ. Get somebody else.
Boxing Orbit shook the fight world when it tweeted a picture of Canelo Alvarez sparring with Jaron Boots Ennis ahead of his September 13th showdown with Terence Crawford, igniting a storm of reactions from fans and analysts alike. Trainer Greg Hackett called it one of the most talked about moves in the build-up to the fight, noting that the buzz is understandable since nobody expected such a collaboration. While at first glance it might seem curious, even amusing, Hackett insists there's nothing random about it. Crawford thrives on ambition, adaptability, and relentless drive. In that sense, bringing Boots into camp is a calculated effort to replicate that same energy and intensity. Hackett stressed that Ennis is far from just another sparring partner. He's one of the brightest young stars in the sport, known for his speed, explosiveness, and hunger to prove himself to be why surrounding himself with that level of challenge in training, Canelo is ensuring he's pushed every single day in ways that matter. What some dismiss as a camp gimmick, Hackett frames as part of a carefully crafted plan. To him, Canelo's team is showing their respect for Crawford by choosing preparation that leaves no room for surprises when fight night arrives.
Things I know about camp, and how they want things to go, so it's going to be that way. Is y'all going to try to alter the camp, or is y'all going to let it go, or Yeah, is y'all looking at still?
Give me the psychology behind both sides. What is Jaron Ennis different with Canelo Alvarez different?
I mean, Jaron Ennis get from it being in with the elite, a guy who's prepared for everything. One thing you can't say about Canelo is that he hasn't seen something. Canelo's seen southpaws, he's seen tall guys, short guys, slick fighters, he's seen bulls, been up against everything. So you get a word of experience with a guy like Canelo. You get a guy who's in full confidence with a guy like Canelo. So with that type of boxing, I would see Canelo really not worried about so much of what he's trying to do to him, but really just paying attention to him. Saying like, I don't know, I can see Boots kind of like. I think the mindset for Boots would be not only to prove I can hang, but to also be trying to see what will come with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't think I would do that. I don't know. It's just me. I just think the only reason I say that is I just want to get that fight. Stand up and fight. And I'm saying that because, you know, the reason I say I wouldn't do it is because I wouldn't spar you and then a year later they fight.
I mean, this is as much as it does for Canelo, it does for Boots, though, right? That what he teaches.
Yeah, but there's so many ways to go. And what I'm saying is, if I was to be where Boots is right now, one thing we can all agree on, everybody hates Boots right now. They mad at Boots, right?
Jose Benavidez Sr. was quick to brush off the hype surrounding Canelo Alvarez's sparring choices, making it clear that his camp isn't paying attention to social media chatter. For him, all the noise fades the moment the bell rings on fight night. He pointed out that fans and media often overanalyze sparring partnerships, forgetting they're just tools in preparation. Whether Canelo sparred with Jaron Boots Ennis or anyone else, Benavidez Sr. insists it doesn't change the reality. Terence Crawford is a completely different animal, and in his view, sparring sessions don't decide legacies. The real test comes under the bright lights, with millions watching, when pressure is at its peak. His message is simple: headlines may stir excitement, but experienced camps remain grounded, focused only on their own strategy.
Not even think about that anymore with just Canelo is flipping and stuff like that. Does it make you kind of rethink Canelo and that Crawford fight to be like, well, he's really taking it serious to bring in a guy like Jaron Ennis?
Well, like I said, I don't really focus on that. We stay in our lane, and try to get better ourselves. And whatever they do, whatever they decide to bring in or whatever, I'm pretty sure they have a plan. But I don't really focus on what other people do. We focus on what we do in order to get better ourselves. Because we do have a lot of things that we need to fix and get better at. So my respects to whatever they do or whatever they're doing, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing, but we don't really focus on that, what other people do. Like I said, we gotta get better at our craft.
Brian Norman adds a sharper, more critical perspective to the discussion. While he acknowledges that Jaron Boots Ennis is a phenomenal fighter, he argues that Ennis's style doesn't truly reflect what Terence Crawford brings to the table. According to Norman, the similarities stop at physical build and the occasional power shot. Crawford, he explains, is a master technician, switching stances seamlessly, setting traps with patience, and executing strategies in real time. Boots, on the other hand, is more explosive, aggressive, and direct in his delivery. Sparring with Ennis may give Canelo a difficult test, but Norman stresses that it won't prepare him for the subtle layers of Crawford's game. His remarks serve as an important reality check. While Canelo's camp move has value, it can only go so far in replicating the unique puzzle that Crawford presents inside the ring.
I think it's good work out of Crawford. I don't think Crawford fight, not Crawford. I don't think Boots fight like Crawford at all. That was just, I think the comparisons they was making initially was just that they both were switch hitters and they both did so naturally. That's really the only thing that they do the same. They don't do anything else the same, literally. So I never understood the comparison in that myself. But I think still a good look because all work is good work and you want the best work. You know what I'm saying? So if Jaron Ennis is supposed to be the best work, even though he was a 47-pounder and not going up to 54, which is the same thing that Crawford was. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do think that Boots getting a lot of unnecessary backlash about doing it, though. I don't agree with the backlash he's getting about, going to spar, getting that paycheck, getting that experience. And I think he needed it anyway. I always talk trash about him. I always stand and feel it, hide and feel it. They want to go outside to spar. They want to go outside to do anything else. So in this case right here, I think it's well needed for his career. It's needed for the building of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out. You got to go in certain different types of territories and places to get that kind of work. So I mean, I think Boots getting a lot of unnecessary criticism. And if I'm defending it, it's real. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's getting a lot of unnecessary criticism, come out, sell out, and all of this. That's foolish.
ALO Oladipo offers a sobering reminder of where Canelo Alvarez stands today compared to his prime years. He points back to the 2018 rematch with Gennady Golovkin as the night Canelo looked at his absolute best, sharp, relentless, and seemingly untouchable. But as Oladipo notes, that was 7 years ago. Since then, while Canelo has remained an elite champion, he hasn't quite displayed the same level of brilliance. This perspective raises a crucial question. Can even the smartest training moves, like bringing in Boots Ennis, truly bridge the gap between the Canelo of today and the Crawford operating at his peak? Oladipo's assessment suggests that Alvarez's camp is pushing harder in sparring not just out of strategy, but out of necessity. They know the current version of Canelo may need extra reinforcement to keep pace with the danger Crawford presents.
I don't think that Crawford is fighting the best Canelo. But again, the Canelo I'm talking about, I mean, second Golovkin fight, I thought was fucking incredible. That feels like a long time ago. Second Golovkin fight was 2018. So I'm saying peak Canelo, although still very, very good people, peak Canelo for me was 6 years ago. It's a long time, or 5.5 years. That's a long time. In fact, exactly 15th of September. So it'll be to the day 5 years. What am I talking about? Sorry, almost 7 years ago. Jeez, that's a long time ago. Where some might say peak Crawford was Errol. So, shit, I didn't realize how long ago that was. And he's clearly not that same guy anymore. Clearly isn't. He's no longer fighting elite fighters. I mean, unless you're going to say William Skull was elite. Gibalanga, no. Ngia, no. Jamel, no. John Ryder, no. The third Golovkin fight, no. So he's no longer fighting the best. But he still is very good, and he's still a top 168 pounder. And I think this is why people are saying it is a 50-50 fight now. Because we can see the deterioration in Canelo. Like, say what you want about William Skull. Canelo looked poor in that fight as well. Everyone's like, oh, William Skull ran. Well, Canelo didn't cut off the exit. Canelo wasn't great himself. Canelo's punch output was horrendous. So we can clearly see the deterioration. That said, he is the naturally bigger guy. I just mentioned the fact that Crawford's put on size, but the naturally bigger guy in this weight class is Canelo. That has to count for something. We know Canelo's been able to absorb punches from the naturally bigger guys. I mean, barely anyone's put a dent in this guy, right? That's how good his chin is. Maybe the best chin in boxing. It's frightening. But the legs are slowed down. The output is slowed down as well. And I always think about, with Canelo, desire and want and will. I always sort of say, where is that desire?
Analysts studying this development agree that Canelo Alvarez gains valuable preparation by sparring with Jaron Boots Ennis. They highlight that Ennis brings rare attributes to the gym: speed, sharp angles, and relentless pressure that few fighters can replicate in sparring. By facing those qualities day after day, Canelo ensures he is better conditioned to handle Crawford's unpredictability under the lights. Some experts caution that Boots and Crawford differ in their tactical habits, but most agree the sheer challenge of sharing rounds with Ennis sharpens reflexes, timing, and mental toughness. This, they argue, is exactly what separates elite fighters from ordinary ones, seeking out the hardest possible tests in camp so nothing on fight night feels unfamiliar.
That means that he did get work. That's what that means to me. That's what you need. I don't want Canelo in camp beating up nobody. I want people beating up on him. I want people putting in that work, giving him looks he ain't seen. That's what's going to make him ready for Crawford. I don't want to see smiling Canelo. I don't want to see Canelo happy. That means he did good the first time they sparred. No, I want him frustrated and angry. That's how it's supposed to be. Bring somebody in camp, they give you that work. Even Mayweather talked about how Earl Spence gave him that work when he was trying to get him ready for a fight. Because by the end of the camp, Canelo will be the one smiling.
I love it. I'm going to tell y'all why I love it. I'm going to tell y'all why I love this shit. I was wondering. I was like, I wonder who Canelo has in camp with him to prepare for Blood, because I know Shakur's